In this video, we're going to be discussing PSP folders and how to direct PSP to locate them. If you have just recently upgraded your PSP program to versions 14, 15, or 16, you will find in your documents Corel has placed a folder called Corel Paint Shop Pro, and if you click on that, you will find a folder for each version that you have on your computer, and in my case I have versions 15 and 16 both in here. If you will click on one of those, you will see that there are subfolders for our brushes and our gradients and our masks and so forth. What you will not find when this is first installed is a folder called plugins. So what you're going to want to do is to click on New Folder or right click and create a folder and name it Plugins. So we'll have a place to put our plugins if we're going to be using this folder. If you have been using PSP 11 through 13, you will find that Corel has put in a PSP folder called My PSP Files, and in that folder are all of the subfolders, again just like in the newer versions, called brushes and gradients and masks and so forth. And this is where I have chosen to keep my files. And we'll click on brushes. You can see that I have lots and lots and lots of brushes in my folder, and masks the same way, just lots and lots of them. So when I have a new computer built, I will bring this PSP files folder into my new computer and continue to use this, but really you can use either my PSP files folder or the Corel Paint Shop Pro folder with the subfolders in each one, and they automatically are connected to Corel Paint Shop Pro in the preferences, and we'll get to that in a moment. One thing I forgot to mention: when PSP installs and automatically puts the My PSP Files folder in, it will automatically put all of the subfolders in with the exception of that plugins folder. So you're going to have to make a plugins folder as a subfolder in My PSP Files as well. Another thing to think about is which one of these are you going to be using. I like this one as my main one, but when I'm say creating a new brush, I want to put that in my brushes folder of Corel Paint Shop Pro 16, and that way I know that they are something new that I've created, so you can keep a separation in that way. But you can use both or either one. That's entirely up to you here. Another thing that I might mention right now is don't put new folders in your Corel Paint Shop Pro program itself. Always put them in those Documents, My PSP Files, or Documents, Corel Paint Shop Pro folders. Otherwise, your Paint Shop Pro is going to be weighted down with too much information, so be sure not to put them directly into your Corel Paint Shop Pro programs. I'm now going to show you how to direct Paint Shop Pro to find those folders that we were talking about. We go up here to File and down to Preferences to File Locations. And when this File Locations box comes up, let's start out at the top, our Brushes folder. As you can see, it points right here in Documents, Corel Paint Shop Pro 16 brushes. This automatically is in here when the program is installed, but this is pointing to that Corel 16 folder that we just saw. And this is a default that Corel puts in here, but this is the one right here where we are going to be putting in. And just for demonstration's sake, I'm going to remove it. Now, Corel Paint Shop Pro, if left like this, would not find my brushes. So what I'm going to do, and what you're going to be doing with each one of these as you go through them, is highlighting your brushes, clicking Add, and you are going to be browsing to your PSP brushes folder. So we start out by clicking on our computer and the local disk C, and then I go down to Users, Barbara, and my documents, and in my documents I go to my PSP files and brushes, and when this file path has been completed, I'm going to click OK, and now you see Users, Barbara, Documents, my PSP files, brushes is in here. If I want to save new brushes, down here under Save To is where I am going to give it direction. In my case, if I want to keep new brushes in my PSP files brushes folder, I would click this one. But my new items, I'm going to be putting in Corel Paint Shop Pro 16 brushes just to keep things separate. So make certain that Save To file path is where you want your new things saved. And once that is done, you click OK. And we continue on doing this, the file locations. We go down to the bump maps, and as you can see, I have the bump maps put in. The cache is just left. Some of these you don't do anything to. They're automatically pointed to Corel Paint Shop Pro 16. The deformation maps, I had put that in there. The same with displacement maps. So just go down through this whole list and continually add in or point to your folders. Like right here is plugins. And as you can see, this top one, Program Files, Corel Paint Shop Pro 16, that folder is pointed to, so PSP knows to find my folders in there. And this one, Barbara Documents, my PSP Files plugins, is telling PSP that I have plugins here. So it directs PSP through this manner to find your files. Sometimes people may contact me and their effects are no longer showing the plugins, and they wonder why. And this is what you need to do. You need to go to File Locations, and check on plugins and make certain that this file path is in here. And chances are it's not if your plugins are not showing up. So add it in, click OK, and that is how we point PSP to find our folders. I hope through this video you have learned how to point PSP to find your files in their proper folders.